Hey guys, this is Ancient Dinosaur 2.0 here, back with another video, and in today's video I will be analyzing and breaking down the FNAF 2 movie teaser trailer. And along with that, I will also give you guys my thoughts and predictions on what the plot of the film might be. What I'm gonna do is show you guys the teaser trailer itself, and when that's all said and done, I will go into the analysis. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and thanks for watching.
Welcome back. Are you ready to start the show? Count with me now. 5, 4, 3.
They're out there, Mike.
2.
Where?
1.
Everywhere.
Showtime!
Before I start the analysis and breakdown, I just wanted to say that I think this film will be a mix of FNAF 3, FNAF 6, and FNAF The Twisted Ones, and well, obviously FNAF 2. Especially think that this movie will be based on The Twisted Ones because in the teaser we saw that the toy animatronics roam freely outside the pizzeria, and we know that the FNAF 1 movie had a lot of Silver Eyes references. So it is possible that FNAF 2 will do the same with the Twisted Ones. So it could be that William sends the toys after Mike and Abby to capture and kill them like the Twisted Ones did to Charlie in the novel. Branching off of that theory, I think the FNAF movie trilogy is in a way a reflection of what the FNAF series would have been had it been planned out and worked narratively into a movie or a book. And I think there's a stronger case for that given how many plot points are mirrored in the book and the movie trilogies. I also have reason to believe that the Fast Fest is a hoax created by Henry Emily in 2003 to bring everyone back FNAF 6 style. So, lastly, leaks from a couple months back have reported that the second FNAF film will take place 5 years after the first, but I don't think that's true because the first film is set in the year 2000 and Abby's 10 years old in the first one. So if the film is set 5 years later, she'd be 15, but the school she goes to is a middle school, and that was confirmed in the leaks. So she'd at least have to be 14. So with that evidence, I therefore think that the film is set in 2004, where Abby would at least be 13 to 14 in 8th grade, and I think it's the most logical explanation, especially how in real life the two FNAF films are set 2 years apart. And don't forget to account the filming process and schedule conflicts and also the writer's strike. So, and let's move on to analysis and breakdown of the film. Alright, starting off with the first shot of the teaser, we see a poster of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, and it's obviously the poster from the first FNAF film. So I feel like this scene might be a part in the film where Mike, Abby, or Vanessa go back to the original FNAF pizzeria to do something. I don't really know, but maybe they're looking for the old animatronics. And yeah, so moving on to the second shot, we get a scene of Mangle opening up her eyes, and she's obviously activating. Something must be going on in this scene, like maybe Mike or Vanessa walked into the second pizzeria and Mangle activates and starts hunting them down, but we can obviously see Mangle's second head activating, and this might be before someone gets attacked or something like that. I don't really know, but that's definitely Mangle. This next trailer shot is of the Fast Festival, and in the background, or well, it's not really in the background, but when the camera starts focusing, you can see a little girl, and I have reason to believe that that's young Vanessa. Um, it looks like Vanessa from the first film when she showed the picture to Mike of William Afton in a spring Bonnie suit and her standing next to him, and both those actors look the same. So I have reason to believe that maybe this is a flashback of the Fast Festival in the 80s where you see Vanessa hang out with the other kids. This next shot is Abby wrote a letter to Mike on the door saying, "Gone to fix my friends." I think that this is in the second half of the film. And at this point in the film, Abby has, gotten in contact with the animatronics, and she's periodically going to and from uh, school to the second location. And so, yeah. And then this next shot is Mike picking up that letter. And I know a lot of people talk about his haircut, but I honestly think that Mike having cut his hair is a representation of the stark contrast between him and Vanessa. Um, if you look at the next trailer shot, you can see Vanessa looks very tired, and she looks like she's suffering. I don't really know how to explain it, but she looks like she's going through a lot. But if you look at Mike, he is clean cut. He looks like he's kind of got his life under control, especially after the first film. So I feel like this is supposed to be a reference to how much these characters have changed since the first film and how much their paths have gone. They've kind of gone in opposite paths. Um, it's it's really cool. Well, it's not cool, but it's interesting. This next shot, you can see Toy Bonnie peeking through the window. Um, I think that this is a scene maybe at the start of the film where Toy Bonnie attacks and kills the old couple that you'll see later in the trailer. Um, I think that this is this exact scene before he goes into their house, but I think it's going to be just like the Twisted ones where the animatronics are going household to household, just killing off random people. So um, this next shot, um, Mike is talking to Vanessa, and there's a ladder in the background. So this might be a scene where Mike has moved. I think for the second FNAF film, I think Mike and Abby will have already moved out of their old house, especially after um, Mike's aunt, I forgot her name, but especially after Mike's aunt died and Golden Freddy basically trashed the place. I think that I think Mike and Abby will have moved out and moved into a new house, and I think we're seeing something like that happen in the background because of the ladder, and also the location looks very different. Um, along with that shot, you can also see Vanessa talking to Mike, and I believe that at this point in the trailer, Vanessa is telling Mike about like the animatronics roaming around, and when I go on to explain my plot predictions, I'll explain where this takes place in the film and how I think it correlates to the rest of the plot. Um, in this next shot of the trailer, you can see Henry Emily, or well, it's not confirmed to be Henry Emily, but I think it's Henry Emily pressing the Showtime button, and I think this is the Showtime button for the second pizzeria because the Showtime button in the first pizzeria in the first film was on the wall, but this is obviously in the backstage or somewhere where there's other buttons. So I think this is Henry Emily pressing that button, and I think we'll find out what else is going on when the movie comes out. So uh, this is a bit of a longer take, but in this shot of the teaser, you can see I think that's Wayne Knight. He was the guy from Jurassic Park. He was Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park, but his he's obviously making an appearance in the FNAF 2 movie, and his character seems to be Abby's science teacher. I think I'm pretty sure this is Abby's science teacher, and he's obviously peering through the closet or through the window or whatever room that is, and he sees eyes, and those are obviously Chica's eyes, and then he gets scared and screams, and then Chica or Toy Chica pulls him through the window and grabs him inside, and she probably kills him with her beak. And here's a shot of what Abby's school looks like on the inside, and then you also see um, Wayne Knight being pulled into the room and killed off screen probably. This next shot is of Toy Chica. You can obviously tell it's Toy Chica by the feet, but Toy Chica is walking, and she looks to be in Abby's middle school. I'm pretty sure this looks like a building. This is probably Abby's middle school. I'm not sure though. I'm just going based off a whim, but this definitely looks like Toy Chica is like roaming the halls, and she's probably hunting someone down, probably trying to kill them. This next shot is of Mangle, and Mangle is obviously bursting through the house. I think this is at the end of the film. This is probably the climax of the film, and Mangle at this point is hunting down the main cast of characters, trying to kill Mike, Abby, and Vanessa. And I think this is at the end of the film where they all get into the house, and yeah, it's pretty cool. This is a shot of Vanessa, Abby, and Mike all together. Like I said before, I think this is at the end of the film where they all come together for the big climax. This is a shot of Toy Bonnie raising up a knife or a needle, and I think this is in the same scene where Toy Bonnie goes to the old people's house and he pulls out the thing, and I think at this point in the film he's gonna kill them, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. This is the exact shot I was talking about, and you can tell that this is Toy Bonnie just by looking at the shadow. If you look at the top, if you look close enough, you can see two bunny ears, and I'm pretty sure that's Toy Bonnie. So this is a scene where Toy Bonnie breaks into these people's house and kills them off screen or on screen, I don't know. In this shot, you see William Afton standing on the other side of the hallway, and this seems to be Vanessa. Vanessa's probably having like a hallucination. We obviously know that William Afton definitely abused and probably tormented Vanessa growing up, and so she's probably having episodes or hallucinations or flashbacks to his abuse. And a really interesting Easter egg is that this is exactly what the FNAF 4 house looks like for Fun with Plushtrap. If you've played the game, you have the 4 doors, you have 2 on one side, 2 on the other, and then William Afton is down the hall. This is an exact reference to that game, and you can tell by the doors flinging open, and then you have to look close enough. And I feel like you only get that reference if you actually play the game. Otherwise, it might just come as a blink and you miss it shot. So I think it looks pretty cool, and it's really nice to see William Afton coming back and William Afton appearing in his film, not in his Spring Bonnie animatronic. I think that's really cool. This next shot is of Vanessa, and she's obviously pointing a gun at someone. This is obviously a different shot from the hallucination where she sees William Afton. So this is obviously a different shot, and I think that this is early on in the film where we see Vanessa and her mental breakdowns or mental episodes of where she sees William Afton, or where she sees like premonitions or hallucinations of the animatronics. And I think at this point in the film, Vanessa is just having a really hard time. This looks to be like it's in like a house, or maybe it's in a hospital. I don't know where this is, but this is obviously in a building, and she's freaking out. And who knows, this could also be in a police station. We know that Vanessa was a police officer in the last film, so maybe Vanessa has a mental breakdown in, at a police station, and she ends up getting fired or laid off because of her erratic behavior. This could be it. It's just a theory though. This next shot is of Balloon Boy. Um, the background looks to be the FNAF 2 pizzeria. If you look closely, this is the office. You can tell by the vent and the TVs in the back, and Balloon Boy's eyes start to glow and like shine really bright. I think that's a reference to how Balloon Boy takes the AA batteries out of your flashlight in the second game. Um, yeah, I mean, these designs look really amazing. So it's really nice to see Balloon Boy. In this next shot, you see William Afton, who's in a Spring Bonnie suit, picking up a kitchen knife, and I can't really tell at what point in the film this is. I have a feeling that this is at the end of the film, and I feel like the only reason Spring Bonnie looks so clean is because VFX haven't been added, and I think later down the road when this film releases, we'll see this exact scene, and Spring Bonnie will look more dirtied up, and he'll look more like Springtrap. But I think right now the only reason people think this is a flashback is because Spring Bonnie looks so clean and he looks so fixed, if you want to call it that. But I don't think that's the case. I think this is just VFX, and I think the film hasn't fully edited Spring Bonnie into looking like Springtrap. So I think this is at the end, and William Afton is about to kill someone. Maybe he kills Vanessa. I don't know. This shot of the film takes place in the same scene where Balloon Boy is. Well, it's not confirmed, but I'm just assuming it is based off the color grading and the location. But I think this is a FNAF 2 pizzeria. I think that this is an office scene of the film, and I think at this point in the film, it probably takes place at the start. Later in the trailer, you'll see a scene of McKenna Grace screaming or like yelling at something from above, and I think this is the exact same shot where Mangle kills this guy first, who is holding a camera, and then Mangle goes on to kill McKenna Grace. And I don't know, bites off her frontal lobe or something. This is Mangle. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure the leak said that Mangle would attack Vanessa while Vanessa's driving, and Vanessa would like speed the car into something. I don't really know the details, but I'm pretty sure this is a scene where Mangle attacks Vanessa, and then Vanessa runs Mangle over, or something like that. I'm not sure. This is a shot of Vanessa and Mike, same as before. I mean, you don't really know the context of the scene you've kind of until you see it in theaters, of course. But I don't really know. I don't really know what to say about this. It looks like it's at the end of the movie. They're obviously looking up at something. It's probably William Afton. They're definitely in shock too. So maybe they're looking at someone getting killed, or maybe they're looking at Springtrap, or I don't know. And this final trailer shot is of McKenna Grace being killed by who I'm assuming is the Mangle. And I think that this scene takes place at the start of the film, and I think that there are ghost hunters or news reporters who go into the old abandoned FNAF 2 pizzeria and end up getting killed by the toy animatronics. And I think Balloon Boy makes an appearance, and Mangle makes an appearance, and they both kill, or well, one of them just kills both of these two characters. And I think it'll be a pretty cool and interesting death scene. I know there's a final scene in the trailer. There's this scene where Toy Freddy is walking in the Fast Fest. I think this takes place in present day, And I think at this point in the film, Toy Freddy is, um, I don't know, roaming the streets and looking for someone. I'm not really sure, to be honest, but it looks pretty cool anyway. Very nice. That's my trailer analysis, and now I'm gonna move on to the plot prediction. So I'm gonna predict a plot, and then 7 months down the line, it's either gonna be confirmed or not confirmed. I don't know. All right, I wrote out an entire script for this, so I'm gonna just start from the top and keep going till it ends. Um, so this is my plot prediction for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and this is how I think the movie's gonna play out. And this is just my overall prediction. So let's start. Um, So, my plot prediction is that directly after the events of the first FNAF movie, Henry Emily, who had been watching the events of the first film unfold in the background, goes back to the original pizzeria to check on the animatronics in the state of the building. Not only does he retrieve the old animatronics and takes them back to his house, like what Clay Burke did in the Silverized trilogy, but he unintentionally lets William Afton slash Springtrap out by opening the door to the storage area and leaving the door open. This leads to a chain of events where William Afton is out for revenge, goes to the FNAF 2 pizzeria, and takes control of the toy animatronics and sends them on a murder spree slash hunt to find Abby, Mike, and Vanessa and kill them once and for all. After some murders take place, the news of the murderous robots roaming the town goes viral, prompting Henry to enact a plan to bring everyone back. In the 80s, an event known as Fast Fest, a festival where you dress up as your favorite FNAF character, would take place, and its purpose would be to promote and advertise the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, and maybe the second one, but I'm not sure. And after the 1985 missing children's incident, Fast Fest and any remaining pizzerias in the Freddy Fazbear pizza chain would close down. Going back to the present day, Henry would utilize the concept of Fast Fest to make a FNAF 3 Fazbear's Fright style event, which celebrates the mystery and tragic events of the FNAF locations and the unknown events that took place in them. Using the publicity and popularity gained from the event and the news regarding the murder's animatronics, Henry reopens his old FNAF 2 pizzeria and hires Jeremy, who I'm calling it right now is most likely going to be played by Markiplier, to be the new security guard. Because of Fast Fest and the FNAF 2 pizzeria being viewed as a horror attraction, they both gain instant popularity, especially with the younger demographic. Along with that, Henry's as planned, works in bringing everyone back. Vanessa, who is aware of everything going on with the animatronics killing people and Fast Fest, goes to Mike for help in stopping them and finds out who's behind Fast Fest. For context, before Vanessa seeks out Mike, she suffers from the traumas she experienced from her father, William. One night, while driving, Mangle attacks her and she runs over Mangle and drives off. My speculation is that this event is what prompts Vanessa to go seek Mike for help. And also to add on to this isn't written in my script, but to add on to that, Vanessa is the type of person to not engage in conflicts. So I feel like this has to be the reason why, because Vanessa is never the type of person to outright engage in conflicts, and I feel like Vanessa has to have a reason to, and she has to act on it. So going back to my script, while Vanessa goes to request Mike's aid, Abby attends middle school, where this is just speculation, but I think that Abby is gonna have stereotypical bullies making fun of her for having imaginary friends and being possessed animatronics in the first film. While leaving school, she finds out about Fast Fest and attends it later that night. Mike does too after reluctantly agreeing to help Vanessa. Mike also travels to the old Freddy's location from the first film and sees flyers promoting Fast Fest. At night, Abby goes to Fast Fest where she retrieves a Fast Talker. Along with that, Toy Freddy appears. Now again, I want to stress that this is just a theory, but I think that Toy Freddy sees Abby or Mike, becomes violent, and a group of kids, probably the bullies from Abby's school, show up and start checking out Toy Freddy. I think at this point, Toy Freddy, whose AI is already in a violent state, attacks the kids or attacks the bullies, and we probably get uh, a representation of the Bite of 87. So um, I think it's going to be mirrored in this movie. Fast Fest and everything with it, including the reopened FNAF 2 pizzeria, closed down. Sometime later, the Fast Talker activates on its own and starts talking to Abby. Abby picks it up, and the Fast Talker starts sending messages like "save them" and "come find me." Abby listens and later bikes to the FNAF 2 pizzeria, where she meets with Toy Chica. Her and Toy Chica go home together, and the following day, Abby takes Toy Chica to school with her. Now, this is the part of the plot prediction where I don't really know what happens next, so I'll just read off a list, and I'll go off of what is most probably gonna happen, like what is most likely gonna happen. For starters, the marionette is revealed, and he is the one who was talking to Abby all along on the Fast Talker. Um, the marionette is also possessed by Garrett, Mike and Abby's brother. Urban explorers are killed by Mangle. That's what I was talking about in analysis and breakdown. So they're killed by Mangle at the start of the film, and there's also going to be a Markiplier cameo. I'm very sure there's going to be a Markiplier cameo. Um, there's a ton of flashbacks. Most of them include Vanessa and William's abuse, um, the 1980s missing children's incident, and the 1980s Fast Fest. There's also going to be scenes of animatronics killing random people, and they will also turn on Abby by the end of the film. Um, there were leaks that were released a couple of weeks ago saying that Abby is going to take Toy Chica to a fair, and I'm pretty sure the fair is like a science fair for her school. So when Abby takes Toy Chica to her school, Toy Chica probably goes rogue and starts killing everyone. So I have a feeling that at that point in the film, the animatronics are going to turn on Abby and try to kill her. Since I got that out of the way, I can definitely piece what the ending will be. And my theory is that by the end of the film, Henry Emily will have introduced himself to our main cast of characters. They will all be in Henry Emily's house or Mike's house, and will be cornered by the toy animatronics, who, while being split up for most of the movie, will finally meet up for the climax of the film. Springtrap, or William Afton, will appear for the big shocker moment, and he'll say, I always come back. He'll explain his evil plan like in the Twisted Ones novel, and maybe, this is a big maybe, he will reveal that either Mike, Abby, or Vanessa are robots. Before the animatronics kill the main cast, the original animatronics from the first FNAF film, who were taken by Henry to his crib, are going to appear and fight and dismantle the toy animatronics. Amidst the chaos, Springtrap will appear and kill Vanessa and will get away after the climax of the film. And then by the end of the film, Mike will vow to find William and stop him for good, thus setting up the third FNAF film. Also, I forgot to mention, but I think Henry will reveal that Mike and Vanessa met as kids, and the reason they don't remember is because one of them is a robot. This is all just a theory, and this is my plot prediction for the second FNAF film, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, like and follow, or like and subscribe, and thank you guys for watching. So goodbye, see ya.